Going to discuss this 8th supplementary reader lesson, A Handful of Clay. This lesson it is written by Henry Van Dyke. Henry Van Dyke. This lesson is an allegorical short story that explores the universal theme of self-discovery and transformation. The clay, a humble and ordinary substance, dreams of becoming something great. So here in this story, you can see here a heap of clay, how ordinary it is, and it becomes transforms itself into a pot something, and its life, how the life changes. So we learn in this story. There was a handful of clay on the bank of a river. It was common clay, coarse and heavy, but it had high thoughts of its own value and wonderful dreams of the great place which it was to fill in the world when the time came for its virtues to be discovered. So, this is a story of a common clay, right? The common clay, that coarse means rough clay, was simple, common, heavy, and it but though it was rough, common, and heavy, but it had some high thoughts of its own, right? And it knows its own value, and it had even wonderful dreams of the great place it wishes to achieve in life someday. So this paragraph, we can say, it reflects that how do you look, what kind of appearance you have doesn't matter, but what kind of thought you possess, that matters a lot, right? And what kind of dreams you have, so that matters a lot. So here a common clay is really one common, but it knows its own worth, its own value, and it had great dreams. And see, overhead, it was time in the next paragraph. See, overhead, where the clay it was lying on the bank of a river nearby, there he saw some trees were there. In the spring sunshine over his head, the trees whispered together of the glory which descended upon them when their delicate blossoms and leaves began to expand. So the clay looked up nearby around it, and it looks that there were some trees in the spring season. They had shedded off their old leaves and grown with a new blossom, and blossoming with a new, we can say, leaves. They were shining, and they were talking, whispering to each other as if they are uh, celebrating their success. Even the trees were laden with flowers. The flowers, surprised with the joy of beauty, bent their heads to one another, and the wind caressed them and said, "Sisters, how lovely you have become. You make the day bright." And even the trees, some plants were grown with a bunch of flowers, and the flowers were very lovely. The flowers were looking each other and just swaying on there at that time. And the wind caressed means gently, lovingly touched to the flowers, and the wind says to the flowers, "Sisters, how lovely you have become." Here the sister means flowers. "How lovely you have become. You make the day bright." Here the flowers and trees, they are enjoying their success, and while they are enjoying their success at that time, the clay looks at them and wishes that my time also will come. Waiting blindly in its bed, clay confirmed itself with lofty hopes and says, "My time will come." So sometimes what happen in our life, some our friends or their time comes, they enjoy their life. At that time we look at them and we should not be means feel that they got success and I may not have. So we have to confirm to oneself that my time also will come. It said, and it says, even I was not made to be hidden forever. Even it's their time, they are enjoying their time. Now my time will come, and I'm not here to stay all the time here only. The time, my time will come, and I'm not here to be hidden all the time or forever here. Definitely, I one day I will get success. The clay says itself. One day, see what happened then. It's the clay's journey started in the next paragraph. One day, clay felt itself taken from the place where it had waited so long, where it was waited in the bank of the river, there, the clay that was there. So one day, where there it was waited, there a flat blade of iron pressed beneath it and lifted it and tossed it into a cart with the lump of other clays, and it was carried far away, as it seemed, over a rough and stony road. However, it was not afraid nor discouraged, for it said to itself, "This is necessary." So, see, when journey started, it means when the clay was being carried from the place where it was lying, at that time a blade, it means a spade, lifted it, tossed it, means thrown it into the cart, and there were other lump of clays also, and it was carried far away. And it seems over a rough and stony way the cart was moving. However, it was not afraid, and the clay was not afraid nor discouraged. So, what we'll understand from this paragraph, when we get something difficulties from the life, at that time we should not be discouraged or we should not be afraid, because this is necessary. We should say to oneself that this is necessary. It means difficulties are important to shape our life. So again, the thought will make this thing again more meaningful. The path of glory is always rugged. Now I am on my way to play the great part in the world. Even the clay says that this is necessary, and this is necessary, that I am going to be get a change now in my life, and I am on my way now. So I am going to play a great part in the world now. My journey started. However, the difficult journey was nothing compared with the tribulation and distress. So it says that the success journey always goes through difficulties or tribulations and distress. So came after it, the clay was put into a trough, and after that, as it was brought to some a place somewhere, the clay was put into the trough and mixed and beaten and stirred and trampled. After that, when it was carried there, the clay was put into trough. Trough is, we can say that, a kind of pan, and mixed and beaten and stirred. Beaten, stirred, these are the processes. These are the processes that the potter carry out with the mud to make, to give proper shape to it, so that it seems almost unbearable. Means life was giving difficulties to the clay, and this is applicable. Not, this is as allegorical. I told you that this is going to tell you. इससे हमें भी समझ में आता है कि ये, अगर एक मिट्टी के गोले को अगर खुद को कन्वर्ट करने में इतनी परेशानी होती है, तो हम क्या अलग है क्या? हमें भी कभी कभी लाइफ थंपल करती है, कभी कभी ट्रैम्पल करती है, कभी कभी बीट होते हैं हम, कभी कभी, तो इससे हमें उभरना चाहिए. Sometimes we get some even unbearable things that we cannot bear it even. So at that time we should not lose hope, as here the clay did not lose hope. Then it was put upon a swiftly turning wheel. As the process started, swiftly means speedily or very rapidly turning wheel. As a potter, we know that a potter's wheel, in the first page we have seen that potter moves it and keep a lump of clay on it and give shape the same way. So the clay, the coarse clay was given shape, made it proper smooth, and after that it was kept on the swiftly turning wheel and whirled around until it seemed as if it would fly into thousand pieces. And very speedily the wheel was moved, and at that time that lump of clay thought, I will break into hundreds of pieces. But a strange power pressed it and molded it, and it revolved, and through all the dizziness and pain, it felt as if it was taking a new form. And it was kept after that. A strange power pressed that lump of clay, molded it. Molded means given a new shape to it, revolved, we can say, very speedily. It was kept over her. It was even given a kind of point which something that wanted to complete change that it got, and thought that all the dizziness and pain that the clay thought, it felt as if it was taking a new form, and understood that it was taking new form. So here also you understood, we understood one thing, that see, when difficulties come in our life, or here so many difficulties came in that lump's life, after that it could get a new shape. So in our life also, simply we will not get anything. We have to go through the difficulties, then only we'll get something new in our life. Then an unknown hand, again it says, then an unknown hand put into an oven, and fire were kindled about it, fierce and penetrating. But through all, clay held itself together and endured its trials in the confidence of a great future. See, then an unknown hand put it into an oven. Oven is a furnace. Then it was kept in the furnace for baking process. And fire were kindled. Fire was fired, even lit fire about it. Fierce and penetrating is very unbearable. Fierce means dangerous. And very penetrating means that troubles a lot. But through all, the clay held itself together. But the clay did not lose hope. The clay held tightly itself together. Every atom of it held itself together in even this difficult trade. That time kept the confidence of a great future. And the clay, the soft clay, the rough clay converted into a soft one, and after becoming soft, it becomes again hard by this baking process. So here the pot, it is completely ready, baked, baking process also done, and it is made. अब पूरा बन के तैयार हो गया है. देखो, अब एक मिट्टी के गोले को एक अच्छे से शेप वाले पॉट में कन्वर्ट होने के लिए कितने डिफिकल्टीज से जाना पड़ा, कितने प्रोसेसेस हो गई. So this is as allegorical. It means that it is similar to human life. As this is converted form, it's a completely new form, we can say, or success, and this is the basic one. So it converted into this one, took great difficulty. हमारी लाइफ में भी ऐसा ही होता है. सिंपल से हम ग्रेट बनने के लिए, नया शेप लेने के लिए हमें बहुत सारे डिफिकल्टी से गुजरना पड़ता है. ये नेचुरल रूल है, ये नेचर का लॉ है, तो हमें इसे पार करना होता है. देखो, ये इन एनिमेट थिंग्स को ये करना पड़ता है. हम तो एनिमेट है, हमारे हमें लाइफ है, तो लाइफलेस थिंग्स अगर इतना कुछ सह सकते हैं, तो हम लाइफ वाले क्यों न सहे. ये बात हमें यहाँ हमें समझनी पड़ेगी. दिस इज द एलेगोरिकल पार्ट ऑफ दिस लेसन. नेक्स्ट, what happens, see again. uh, at last baking was finished, as I told. Baking process where that was completely baked. At last the baking was finished. Clay was taken from the furnace and set down upon a board in the cool air under the blue sky, right? And then it was kept under blue sky after baking process, set down, and it was rest in an open place. Close beside the boat there was a pool of water. After that, see, now the pot looks around. What happens? So close beside the boat there was a pool of water, calm enough for reflect with impartial truth. E- every image that fell upon it, there and see, there was a pool of water, and there it was kept beside the pool of water. And the pool of water was so calm that even in it can uh, give the reflection of the things very as it is, the things are there, right? The same way sky was in the open sky it was kept. Therefore, the first time as it was lifted from the board, clay saw its new shape, the reward of all its patience and pain, and the consummation of its hopes, a common flower pot, straight and stiff, red and ugly. See, though the flower pot got a new shape now, a new resemblance now, or new appearance now, when it looked into the pool water, पूल के पानी में जब उसने आपका खुद खुद का रूप देखा, और पूल का पानी इतना शांत था कि जो भी सच्चाई है वो उसमें जैसा है वैसा वो दिखाई देने वाला था, तो उसने खुद को देखा एट दैट टाइम कि इतने पेशेंस के बाद ये मुझे रिवॉर्ड मिला, वो अभी भी हैप्पी नहीं है. Such a patience and pain after that, after the consummation of these all difficulties, its hope, a common flower pot, straight and stiff, red and ugly, even unhappy. बहुत डिफिकल्टीज से जाने के बाद भी एक सिंपल फ्लावर पॉट बन गया है. And then it felt that it was not destined for a king's house or for a palace of art, because it was made through glory, it was made without glory or beauty of an honor. So see, even it says that it was not made to just decorate a place or for some we can say king's palace or someone. उसके होप्स खुद से बहुत ज्यादा थे. जो अभी वो फ्लावर पॉट बन गया है तो भी वो खुश नहीं है उसकी, क्योंकि खुद से अपेक्षाएं उसकी बहुत ज्यादा है. Then Clay looked up into the sky and murmured against its unknown maker. See, so Clay looked up into the sky and murmured against his unknown maker, saying, "Why hast thou made me thus?" This is the we can say old dialect English words. It means, why have you made me like this? Why have you made me like this? Who says? The flower pot says to his unknown maker. It's a potter. Why are you making fun of my lofty dreams? Again, we'll come to this conclusion of this line. See, sometimes we get something, but uh, we do not become that much happy. कभी कभी हमें लाइफ में कुछ मिलता भी है, बट हम उससे खुश नहीं होते हैं. बहुत सी डिफिकल्टीज से जाने के बाद बहुत कम सक्सेस मिलता है, या कभी कभी मिलता भी नहीं, तो हम हमारे भगवान से, जो हमारा मेकर है, हमारा अननोन मेकर है, दैट इज गॉड. हियर अननोन मेकर इज एक्चुअली गॉड, राइट? एलेगोरिकल. हम भगवान को कहते हैं कि वाई हैस्ट दाउ मेड मी दस, तूने क्यों मुझे ऐसा बनाया है? वाई आर यू मेकिंग फन ऑफ माई लॉफ्टी ड्रीम्स, मेरे सपनों का मजाक क्यों बना रहा है तू? कभी कभी हम भगवान से पूछते हैं ना, मैं इतनी मेहनत करता हूँ तो भी मुझे इतना ही क्यों मिलता है? सो एज द सेम थिंग, यहाँ पे ये पॉट बोलता है उसको बनाने वाले को, एलेगोरिकल पार्ट, inanimate thing is talking, okay? Personify is here the pot personifies, okay? Again, days rolled up by. See, after that what happens? Days rolled by, दिन बीतते गए. Clay gradually came into terms with its reality through its sullen discontent, and with the reality after that, through this sullen means unhappy, we can say sad, discontent means not satisfied, He was not satisfied. Day passed, though it was not satisfied, but it accepted itself. And one day, what happened? See, it was filled with earth. Filled with earth means the pot, it is filled with soil. Earth means soil. It filled with earth and something, it knew not what, और कुछ तो भी जो उसे पता नहीं क्या, but something rough and brown and dead looking, something brown and dead looking was thrust into the middle of the earth and covered over. So see, you can see something looking like brown and dead looking, it means a seed. A seed was thrusted means penetrated or pushed inside the middle of the earth, बीचों बीच, वो मिट्टी के बीचों बीच उसे बोया गया और उसे कवर कर दिया, covered over. Clay rebelled at this new disgrace and felt it was a new failure. अभी ये जो पॉट की मिट्टी है, this clay rebel means stood against. अब ये क्या नया नया बहाना क्या हो गया शुरू? It's another failure, it thought. But presently, see, it was set into the greenhouse where the sunlight fell warm upon it and water was sprinkled over it. उसे ग्रीन हाउस में रखा गया, उसके ऊपर पानी छिड़का गया. Day by day as it waited, a change began to come to it. उसमें कुछ बदलाव होने लगे. It could sense the clay, it could sense, see, right, could sense something stirring within it. कुछ तो भी उसमें stirring हो रही है, यानी कि वो बीज मिट्टी में कुछ तो भी, जो ये बीज है वो स्प्राउटिंग उसकी शुरू हुई है. What could it be? And clay, it was surprise. What was a new hope? And it was a new hope. The same thing this happened with we human also, राइट. हम कुछ तो भी हमारे कुछ तो भी एक्सेप्ट करते हैं, उसका रिवॉर्ड हमें मिलता है, हमें उसे पहचानना होता है और वो ही एक दिन हमारी पहचान बन जाता है. वन डे द क्ले was lifted. After that, something new grown in that pot. Just you can see, it was filled with soil, it was kept in the greenhouse, water was sprinkled over it, and something grown out, a small plant, we can say, grown here. And then one day the clay was lifted again from its place. Here clay, it means the pot, okay. The clay was lifted again from its place and carried into a great church. After that was carried into the great church. Glorious music flowered over it. And when the clay, it was being taken, it was being carried, at that time glorious music was being played for him, and even flower were showered on over him. It could not understand why. Even it was surprised to see why I am today being honored so much. So it whispered to the another vessel of clay like itself close beside it. So this pot asked, whispered means we know that very slowly, talked with the another pot which was nearby, kept nearby. Asked, what asked? Why have they set me here? Why have they set me here? Why do all the people look towards us? This clay, this pot is asking to another close beside pot. And the other vessel answered, दूसरा pot उसे बता रहा है, right? aha, don't tell me you don't know. अरे, तुझे पता नहीं, मुझे मत बता, तुझे तो सब पता होना चाहिए. You are carrying a royal scepter of lilies. तुझे पता नहीं तू कितना खास है. तुझे, तेरे ऊपर ये जो लिलीज है ना, ये अभी, ये लिली का फ्लावर, ये तो हम जो सेप्टर, सेप्टर यानी राजदंड बोलते हैं, It's a kind of stick that resembles complete power of a kingdom. राजदंड राजा के हाथ में जो होता है, it's a stick like that resembles complete power of that whosoever will hold this at the time of coronation. ये राजा के हाथ में दिया जाता है scepter. सो ये सेप्टर का जो प्रोग्राम है, ये सेप्टर के ऊपर तेरे ऊपर जो लिलीज है दैट वुड बी ऑफर्ड टू दैट सेप्टर. राजा को आज तेरी लिलीज दी जाएगी या सेप्टर को तेरी लिलीज दी जाएगी. देयर पेटल्स आर white as snow and the heart of them is like pure gold of these lilies, and this will be offered to the scepter. The people look towards us because the flower is the most wonderful in the world and the root of it is straight in your heart. Okay, so today the flower that is grown, that is bloomed on you, that will be offered to this scepter. It means this flower is very beautiful, delicate flower that you have grown, and the flower is very soft, very beautiful. Its root are jetted in or sank in your heart. It is grown in you. You are the maker of this beautiful thing, so you are very much important. That's why they are looking at you. You are the creator of this thing. So clay was on cloud nine. On cloud nine means become very happy. This expression we can use to express when we become very very happy sometimes. For example, I returned from my school and I saw a new bicycle kept near my house gate, and my father offered as a birthday gift to me. At that time I was on a cloud nine. So I was very happy, extremely happy. So this spot was very extremely happy to know this thing. Could this be true that its life has finally reached the crown of glory that it always dreamed of? आखिर में हम कह सकते हैं कि ये पॉट जो है क्ले, उसकी लाइफ का सक्सेस जो उसे चाहिए था वो मिल गया. It's a heart filled with the gratitude and it silently thanked to the maker, and it's half felt gratitude और उसके मेकर को उसने थैंक किया because through though an earthen vessel it held such a great treasure that the world around bowed before it in wonderment, because finally the whole world is bowing in front of it only because of the difficulties that it went through in its life. So symbolically we can say, when we go through the difficulty, sometimes so many, even sometimes we may not get success in our life, we should not lose hope. We should be continue in the same path. We must be the good one at that time. At the end the dream definitely comes true, and we can say there's always room at the top, so we can get success at the end. Here, by this short story we'll understand. I hope so you understood. Now there are some questions and new words that you just read. Just pause the lesson, sorry, the video, and you can go through the question answers of this lesson. Simply go through, just pause the video and you can read this. See, answer the following questions, 30-40 words each. uh, 1 2 3 4 questions are there, so these are the 4 questions answers. Now there are 2 long answer questions, open-ended or personal response type, that understanding based questions. So read the questions first, then find the answers, and I suggest that don't copy the answers as it is. It's my suggestion to you all. Just go through the lesson, listen carefully. You also read, learn, try to learn the lesson, try to learn the new words from the lesson, find the meaning of the new words, read the question first, read these answers, and after that try to write answers in your own language. That would be better. because if you simply copy this, will nothing happen. You will not find a kind of standardness in your answer. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you.